guys, I'm Madeline Frederick. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are a first time watcher, make sure to subscribe to get more content from me. I post videos all about my life with a disability. I have a rare disease called Friedreich's ataxia. About 15,000 people in the world have it, so it's very rare. And I just want to show people that you can live a completely happy and normal life despite challenges. And let's get into today's video. So yesterday I asked you guys on Instagram and Facebook to submit some questions because I'm doing a Q&A video, so that's what this video is. If you are not following me on those sites, they are always down below in the description box, or I'll have them on the screen, and you should go follow me on there so you can be in the next Q&A. So the first question is, when were you diagnosed with FA? I was 13 years old when I was diagnosed. I had just turned 13 in February and I was diagnosed in March. The next question is, what impact do you wish to make on the world? And whenever I read this, I was like, I instantly knew my answer. And then I was like, oh no, like there's a lot of stuff that I want to impact the world. The first thing that popped into my mind when I read this is I want to be able to go up to someone and say, oh, I have FA. And they say, oh, I know exactly what that is. And it's not like an explaining or a game that you have to like go through all these things. I just want them to know. That's all about spreading awareness, and that's what I'm trying to do on all of my social medias, is spread awareness and positivity. But the next question is, what motivates you? This is kind of a difficult question because there are multiple things that motivate me. Other people that have FA are definitely a huge motivator for me. Seeing what they can do, what they've accomplished, just drives me to want to be able to do those things for myself. And also just like proving to people that yes, I have a disability, but yes, I'm going to have a great life and I'm going to make it wonderful and all of those kind of things. So proving it to other people. And then I guess my biggest motivator would just be God. My faith definitely pushes me forward every day. So if you could have brunch with anyone, who would it be? I honestly don't know. So whenever people ask me these kind of questions, it's very hard for me to be like, oh, this person or this person. So I don't really have a direct answer for that. It would be really cool to have lunch with like Audrey Hepburn or someone from that time era because I'm so obsessed with it. But yeah, I think just hearing other people's stories are really cool. So honestly, having lunch with anyone would be awesome. The next question is, when you were diagnosed, what did or could your parents have done to help you emotionally? I think this is a great question, and I am so happy that someone asked it. You know, everyone talks about how FA is so physical, because it is. It doesn't affect anything in the brain. But when you think about it, FA is so mental and emotional. I think I've said this in other videos, but if you aren't okay up here, you're not going to be okay anywhere else. So it's really important to focus on your mental and emotional health just as much as your physical health and working out and that kind of stuff. But back to the question. My parents were really good about not being forceful. I would say that, you know, the whole accepting of FA is really a personal thing that you have to make on your own. You know, I get a lot of questions from parents and things like that of how do I help my child, and honestly just being there and supporting them and letting them make the decision on their own timing. Do not rush them, do not force them, do not make them go to events. FA is not an easy diagnosis for anyone to cope with. but especially for a teenager to cope with. And then, you know, you have that pressure from the diagnosis, and then you have the pressure from your parents, and it's just too much sometimes. So I think as a parent, the best thing you can do is just be there to support your child and what they're going through. And you know, you will never understand what it's like to have FA. You won't. You will never be able to empathize with your child because you're not going through what they're going through, but sympathize with them, support them, let them know you're there, and then whenever they come to that decision, they will have so much behind them and you will be right there with them. So the next question is, what would have been the best support through your middle school years? So I was talking to my mom about this yesterday, and I was like, I've tried to block that out so much. You know, the years after when I was recently diagnosed, because it's something I don't want to remember because I ignored FA. I was not in a good mental headspace at all. But I think now that I think about it, I wish I would have been more open to getting involved in the FA community. You have a special bond with someone who knows exactly what you're going through, and you don't have to explain to them all of those little things they already know. And so it's like a different connection. So I would say throughout my middle school years, I wish I would have been more open to getting involved with other teens that have FA, or just the FA community in general. But in the same breath, as a parent of a middle schooler that does have FA, you don't want to push them, you don't want to force them, but at the same time, just be like, oh, you know, I saw this thing and you should go. And if they say no, they say no. Let it be up to them. FA takes away a lot of control. You have to relinquish a lot of it. No control over your speech. You have no control over, you know, how fast your body progresses or that kind of stuff. So it's all about relinquishing control. So if you can have control over one thing, and that is the decision of how quick or how slow you are going to embrace the FA, you want to have that like control over that one thing. The next question is, are you going to Philly in October? And if you are, you should blog. Yes, I will be going to Philly in October. I'm so excited to see everyone. I will put my link from the Philly vlog last year up in the iCard, so you can go watch that and stay tuned for the next one. When you were first diagnosed, did the physician break down all the medical lingo for you? No. Chances are, if you're diagnosed with FA, you will know more than the doctor knows, and you don't want to go into a doctor's appointment being all arrogant and all this stuff, but there's a very good chance that you're going to be more educated than the doctor about this illness. Did the pharmacist understand the importance of having your medicine on a timely schedule and easily reorder it when it was needed? I've had no problems with pharmacists getting my medicine to me on time, but I think that has a lot to do with the relationship that I've established with the doctor, and that way the physician or the doctor kind of enforces that with the pharmacist, if that makes sense. If you ever were in the ER, were the staff members knowledgeable? Were they able to easily access your medical files, or did some hassle occur? I don't know if I've ever told this story, and honestly it's a whole long story, so if you want to hear about it, comment down below and I'll make a whole like story time on it. Before I was diagnosed, I went to the ER for, you know, to get diagnosed because I was having symptoms, and it was the worst experience of my life. It was mortifying, and the physicians were not understanding at all. It was just not a good experience. So if you want to hear all about that, give this video a thumbs up and I can make that for you guys. Have your professors been accepting of the challenges that you may face going to class? Yes. I've had nothing but the best experience with going to college. They have been great. I let them know my accommodations that I'll need. They're so quick to enforce them and wonderful. And it's great. I love school and I'm excited to go back. So that wraps up the Q&A. And if you have any other questions, comment them down below and I will answer them. Make sure to follow me on my social medias. They are always in the description box below. Just make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified whenever I post videos. Always remember to be good, be kind, and be positive, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!